What's everybody doing today? Sorry, some selfless promotion of an event we're putting on. You guys mind if I walk around a little bit? All right, we're about halfway through, so I want to make sure you guys aren't, falling asleep or anything. I was thinking back the other day. I can think back to 3rd grade, 4th grade, and every year after that. And I remember before we started every day in school, we would recite something, the Pledge of Allegiance, right? Great. But it occurred to me a couple years ago, about 2 years ago. What was I pledging all those years? What was I really pledging for? So anyway, I memorized all the words, but I didn't really know what they meant. So, if you could appease me here, okay? I guess I gotta say them back here. Appease me, okay? I want you to repeat with me the Pledge of Allegiance. I know we already did it, but I want you to kind of feel what I felt a couple years ago when I really thought about it, okay? So, repeat after me, or with me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands. Whoa, hold on. To the republic? 2 years ago I was thinking, what? I grew up in the public school system, and you guys can sit down. That was it. Always we'll go through it, the full time at the beginning. But I thought to myself, a republic. I grew up in the public school system. We're a democracy. I was told that. I was told that every single year. I turned on ABC, CBS, Fox News, whatever. We're a democracy, right? That's what I was told. We're a democracy. So I thought, I scratched in my head, what's going on here? So I thought, I'd look through the Constitution. After all, it's the rule book of our government. Our government needs to follow that rule book, right? Okay, so I looked through it. And I thought, I know we're a democracy, right? We're a democracy. So I read through the Constitution looking for the word democracy. Couldn't find it. I go online. I do one of those search and find things. No democracy. It's not in the Constitution. It's not in the Declaration of Independence. So I'm scratching my head. Okay, let's look up the word republic. Okay, so when I did a search for the republic, guess what? It's right there. Article 4, Section 4 of the United States Constitution reads, "The United States shall guarantee to every state in this union a Republican form of government." And no, that doesn't mean the Republican Party. Okay? A Republican form of government. What does that mean? States' rights? It means people's rights, too. And most importantly, it's our rights as individuals. See, a constitutional republic is a nation that is built on law. Republic is Latin for Republica. That means the law. In a republic, we have individual natural rights, and a government is supposed to protect those rights. A democracy is completely different. It's completely the opposite. In a democracy, the majority imposes its will on the minority. That means that if 60% of all of you guys, or 51%, wanted to say, these people, here to the left, you guys have to go home. Well, in a democracy, that's what has to happen. Because it's 51% of the people grant privileges to the other 49%, or whatever group they're talking about. So just to illustrate my point, picture everybody here, everyone here, and we form our own government, and it's a constitutional republic. In a constitutional republic, and say some of you guys here in the crowd, you're a little mad at me, right? Well, that Jason Riddle guy, he's speaking the truth. He's telling too many people that we're a republic and not supposed to be a democracy. So you hold a vote, and 51% of you vote to throw me in jail for the rest of my life. Well, in a republic, what happens? What happens? Nothing. The worst thing that happens is I go to trial, the judge looks at me like, are you crazy? He looks at the prosecutor, and he goes, don't ever bring this to me again. He has his rights. I have my right to freedom of speech. I'm not even saying anything that's untrue. It throws it out, I go on and I live a nice, happy, free life. In a democracy, so say we all live, and this is a democracy, right? Say, you guys want to throw me out because I have the audacity to speak the truth about how we're a constitutional republic. 51% of you say, Jason, you need to go to jail for the rest of your life. What happens in the democracy?
You go to jail.
I go to jail. That's it, because 51% of you said, you have to go to jail, and that's what happens. I don't have a right in a democracy. And that's why this is so important. And I know most of you maybe know that. Some of you might be hearing this for the first time. And if you're hearing it for the first time, I encourage you to look this up. In a republic, it's all about property rights and freedom. So why should you care about this civic lesson, right? It's just a definition at the end of the day. Democracy, republic, whatever you want to call ourselves. I even hear on Good Talk Radio sometimes they'll say democracy, and then they'll kind of correct themselves, well, I know we're a constitutional republic. I say it is fundamentally, incredibly important, the difference between a democracy and a republic. You see, and the reason I think this is so important, and why I encourage everyone to always correct anyone nicely, but correct them and tell them we are a constitutional republic, not a democracy. If they say, well, we need to export democracy and all this to other countries. No, we're a constitutional republic, and this is why, and it's the rule of law and everything else. The reason it's so important is because yes, we do elect, officials to go to Washington, to go to Springfield, to go in our town council meetings and everything, but they're there to support the Constitution, not to degrade the Constitution. That's a very important point. The problem comes in is that too many of our elected officials really think that we're a democracy, or they must. Let me just go through some of the current legislation over the past decade that we've had. The Patriot Act, the first bailout, the second bailout, the cap and trade, which has now gone to the Senate, and they're going to try to make it different and everything and send it back to the House. And then now we have, guess what? Health care. 1,100 some pages. Okay? If everybody knew that we really were a constitutional republic and not a democracy, then we wouldn't be debating whether we need the federal government involved in our health care or not. No, we would look first and say, this HR 3200, is it constitutional or is it not constitutional? And if you look at Articles 1, Section 8, the enumerated powers in the Constitution, you will quickly find that it is unconstitutional. And since it's unconstitutional, we shouldn't even have any other debate. Throw it out. It should go away.
Yes.
But unfortunately, too many people think that we're a democracy, and they think that they can just vote on any bill that comes their way and impose things on us, even those bills that violate our rights. If you're at all interested in anything that I'm talking about here today, and you would like to know more, you'd like to hear it from somebody that's much more a veteran than I am, that's got a few more years on him and has been studying this for 28 years or so. If you're at all interested, and my sign fell down, please come to Freedom Night. This is happening this Friday. You can purchase tickets right over there. We have Michael Badinera coming in. He's a constitutional expert, also a former presidential candidate. He's going to be talking about rights versus privileges. And again, it's one of those things, there's a huge difference between rights versus privileges. I have a right to my personal property. I have a right to my freedom, my liberty. But I don't have the right to go and violate my neighbor or to demand my government take from my neighbor to give to me or to somebody else. So if you're at all interested, please check it out, Freedom Night. We only have limited seating, and we need to make sure that we sell all our tickets this weekend and or Monday, because we have to get our meal order into Avanti's. It's going to be a really nice event. We do have a constitutional jazz singer too. It's going to be really fun. I'd like to end with this. When Benjamin Franklin came out of the Constitutional Convention in 1787, a lady reportedly ran up to him and asked, "Sir, what have you given us?" And as the story goes, he turned to her and without flinching replied, "A republic, ma'am, if you can keep it." And I say to you today, I've been at this only for a couple of years, but what's going on now, you people, everyone here, this is amazing. This encourages me so much. I'm so happy that people are finally standing up for your individual rights. It's awesome. And we can do it. We can take back our country. We can get back to a constitutional rule of law. We can, okay? Not only we must. We don't have a choice. We need people getting involved in the Republican Party, the Democrat Party, the Libertarian Party, the Green Party. I don't care. Just get in a party, get into an organization like I'm involved in, the Campaign for Liberty, or an organization like I'm involved in with the 912 that's putting this event on today. Get involved. Just like Eric said, get off your couches, please. I know there's so many more out there that are not even here today. We can win this.